everyone. Today we got to play Centershaft, Fallen Element. So this one's about to go into a crowdfunding.
It's a crowd sale.
Okay, so super excited about it. So we ended up playing that today. We have some guests. Rob, if you want to introduce them?
Well, this is Kendall and his wife, Hadassah. And so friends of mine I met a few years ago. It's been maybe 6, 7, maybe something like that. And but they introduced me to a game that they were developing, Centershaft, and another one that we got to play.
This is not my eyeballs.
Yeah.
Not my eyeball.
Just
games.
one.
Just one.
And so they kind of taught us the game, and we're here to talk about it.
Yeah. So, but before we get into that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because you want to see more of us and some new cool games.
And you can see we are not at home. We are actually at a convention, a little mini con. It's the first one of 2021. So
yay! Super exciting. I've kind of missed it. So let's talk about quality of pieces. So I love they're not miniatures, they're little standees, but they are in color.
Super cool.
And they are actually really cool. I actually kind of like this almost better than the miniatures because most miniatures you get aren't painted. So I like the fact that these are colored. And the see-through bottoms actually allow you to see the space underneath them because sometimes that matters in this game. So I thought that was a really interesting component to it. You also have really the cardboard spaces as well as your own player board, which is cards. And then you also have these cards of the main deck. Am I missing? Oh, and then you have little tidbits, cardboard tidbits. Overall, I really like the feel of this game. I really love the little miniatures. I really did like that. So what did you guys think?
I mean, the cards are obviously not, they're cards are thin, so they're not going to be that great. The tokens are pretty small. We got a lot of little tiny
they fit
tokens.
On the board.
They fit on the board, yeah, but they're tiny. And the card quality, actually the card quality is not bad.
It's really good card quality, I thought.
Good card quality.
Yeah, tiles are a little thin. They're not bad, they're not horrible.
The reason why I do like them, though, is because of the fact that they get moved. So
Yeah, they
if
do
they're
get
big
moved
and
a lot.
bulky, it'd be a little bit harder to do that. So I kind of like the fact that they're a little bit thinner than what we would say would be good quality.
Yeah. Now, something
because of that.
will note is that the rule book, I actually like the thicker covering on it. And I'm putting this into quality because I just thought that the rule book was actually really amazing as far as quality is concerned.
And I could say you've seen the original rule book and this one, this is much prettier than what it was when I originally saw it.
I'll be honest,
So
the front of it reminds me of like a comic book or something, and I kind of love that. So,
They wanted it Disney-esque.
yeah.
They told our artists to make it as Disney as possible with the art.
Yeah, so
really good.
It looks fantastic. So, what would you guys give it a score for quality of pieces?
Probably more of like a 5 to 6 range as far as the
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's any better than Catalan as far as these. Now, I mean, the standees probably push it up to a 6, I think. But yeah, as far as, I mean, it's definitely a first, Kickstarter type game, and from that standpoint, I mean, you don't expect.
I don't know, with the card quality and everything, I disagree
I think I was
with
going to be a
you.
little bit higher because I thought I was going to be, standard cardboard thinness and card stock stuff. I'd say probably a 6. But with the acrylic standees, I think that bumps up a full one. I'd give it at least a solid 7.
I'm with you on that. I think at the very least a 7. I think there's definitely some quality pieces in here that I appreciated. So moving on to theme, you guys want to kind of explain the theme of what you were kind of going for this game?
Well, yeah, it might be a little confusing, but it's more like a labyrinth that's like a Rubik's Cube. And you got this guardian, which is this
Shadow thing.
squid thing. It's moving around. And it's basically been being manipulated by the players, but thematically it's being manipulated by the Cthulhu-ish character, the squid character. And you got these characters that are being hired to go out and get the gems and come back, but they get a little bit greedy. A lot greedy.
I think we actually got a little bit greedy and a lot greedy in the game. So.
Now you get the labyrinth fever.
It's a race game. You go out and gather and research for the gemstones and come back. Easier said than done because the board will move around, will be manipulated by
also
certain
the little pieces here, which those are
that's
the artifacts that you collect. when you go into the rooms. And then once you've collected all those on there, then you get back to the middle. So you fill in each one of those.
Yeah.
And try not to get the Curse of the Labyrinth.
In the process or die.
Yes, or die.
So I want to touch base on the theme of the fact that I love this artwork. I thought it was beautiful. It's bright, and it's not intimidating because I feel like most dungeon games are very dark. And I think this is definitely not the case with this, and I really appreciate it.
And I can attest that it looks a lot better now because the first time I played it with Candle Hadassah, the tiles were much darker. It was harder to see the spots that you were moving in, and so they highlighted those where they didn't have that circle around it before. So it's easy to see where you're at and where you need to go. So this version was a lot better than the original version.
From people.
Yeah.
And we ran with it because it was. We wanted to make it more family-friendly game, but
if you like stabbing your siblings in the back,
how you feel about your family, really.
It's so
you
family
really get to know,
right?
In another way.
Well, and the thing is you can play it nicely if you wanted to.
You could.
You
It would be
nicely.
fun.
You
You
would.
would lose.
Like
Well,
I
I mean, if
said,
you're playing with
like
a
I said
couple-
before, though, if the first time you play it, people are more, I'll hurt you, but the next time you play,
Like
you're
I'm
like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab you in the eye, and and that one eyeball that you got.
We're getting that way towards the end of this game. But I will say though, thematically though, it fits spot on. Like, yeah, you start playing a little nice, but then you're trying to win, and that greed comes out, like you said, in that theme. And so
It's the gems.
it's the gems, right? I loved a lot about this game, and even though it was Take That, it was a lot of fun. And even though I had some words to say to several people, don't even. I'm actually going to give this probably a 9 on theme.
Wow.
We laughed a lot, and it's fun, and it made sense. It was, the game mechanics were part of the theme. I really appreciated it. So, what do you guys think?
I like the art. I did find some of the board pieces a little hard to see because it was like so red. I think things blended into each other a lot, and that made it like the tentacles being red on a red made it tough to see. As far as the art, I don't think I'm with you on the 9. I think I'm more of a 7. I mean, I like the concept of the game. I like the way that the flow of the art within the game, and I like the art on the pieces a lot, and the cards. I like the cards a lot too. But yeah, I think the red on red was distracting for me.
I think the only problem that I had is like, okay, so you can trigger traps in the game. So there is a weight press. There's
Pressure
plate.
plate.
Pressure plate. That's
Yeah.
it. I was like, I know what there. And it triggers, but I couldn't easily identify those rooms.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with the squid. Like you have to really look closely for those. So I wish there was like a symbol or something that I can quickly just grab it and go.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really.
We almost did that, but we didn't. We want to cut away from the theme.
Yeah.
Not the theme, but the.
Well, it's something to note for second edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's the thing is maybe like being able to see the arrows a little
I
more
did-
clearly
I-
with different coloring.
I had such a problem with even wanting to put the circles around it because I loved his art so much. I didn't want. I didn't want to stain it because he's such a good artist.
Yeah, oh no, I
And
totally
I was
get
like,
it.
I looked at those tiles and I was like, those things are just so pretty.
I know they're
They are
absolutely
very
gorgeous, and then that's my only issue playability wise. It was hard to be like, okay, which spots are the arrow? Because especially because they move around so much, and to quickly identify them. But that's really more
like the
gameplay
fire
than
room is
theme.
wonderful. I think the fire room
Isn't
is
that
exactly
gorgeous?
the way it should look as
I
far
love
as
how he made it
components.
come running down the
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah, because
Yes.
everything
He
is very
didn't
clear,
make
but it takes
anything
advantage of the art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas some of these, it's like to me, the art becomes
One
suppressed
problem we
because
had
of stuff.
when we did the warp rooms.
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember.
But yeah,
Vaguely.
they turned out very good.
Yeah.
I like the warp rooms too.
Yeah.
I'm probably more of a, I think I'm like a 7 as far as.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that. What about you?
I think I'm right in the middle. So I'm at 8.5 because it does. I didn't really think about it, but when you brought up the Zelda-ish, it does kind of have especially these tiles have a Zelda vibe to it because it feels like you're going into the room and you get something in that room, whether it's a
Usually
power or
shafted.
whatever. Yeah, maybe not in the center of it, but definitely shafted.
What it's on
So it does have that feeling a little bit to it, and you pointed it out, and it's a little bit more apparent. But I think it's a solid mechanically tuned game. I think everything fits and it fits well. Just the blending is my only concern, is that the red on red on red, it can be a little tough to distinguish stuff. So.
I think we can revisit that and maybe take that into consideration because we're getting ready to do a crowd sale on it. So that's something that we could look at. So if anybody has any suggestions and they can see this, I don't know how well y'all can see this here, but
Oh, we're gonna put some pictures out.
okay,
yeah,
great.
sure.
And then if you
And then if
have
you guys
any
follow the
suggestions,
comments on
that'd be
YouTube.
awesome. If you
Yeah.
could give some feedback on what you think might bring those rooms out a little better for people to see. That's
Yeah, we were wanting to go matted with it, but Gamecraft didn't do that right.
You know, and I'm thinking you've got this
Kinda like a
border
box of
here.
matted.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering if you could change the colors of this border for like the arrow spaces and like the
I
square
also
places.
thought of maybe some type of hieroglyphic on the step because we have like the pressure plate and things like that, and that kind of identifies those rooms really well. And of course the element rooms right here, you can see those elements
That's a
very well. So
really
I
good
figured
idea.
instead of
Instead of like a
changing
simple thing.
Yeah.
so much colors already there, I thought maybe give it some kind of hieroglyphic or something like that that you could identify.
Or
with
like
it.
maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe like a dead body with an arrow in it. That'd be good
That,
too.
that is on one of the tiles.
Could you render raw?
Yeah, but it's so little. I mean,
It is very
like,
tiny.
Like her original one, she did the art for the original one. She
I'm
had
so
a dead
good.
body with a
No, but I
and I
do
was like,
think
that's a little gruesome, Maddie.
actually I
like,
think
what's
that's a
in your head?
really great idea though to put that hierarchy in the middle. That makes some sense. Yeah. All right, so we went over to theme. Now we're moving on to rules. I love not having to read the rules. Wait for someone to read the rules because we actually had
Somebody
makers
teaches.
here,
Yeah.
so this worked out.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 10 because I didn't have to wait impatiently.
That doesn't. You can't do that. You
Yes,
can't
I
give rules of
can.
just 'cause you
There
didn't
are
read
rules
them.
on the internet as well
Yeah.
with the cardboard stacker. So somebody can
Yeah, we got a
those
full
if they want.
playthrough or how to play it. It's all
Yeah.
animated and everything.
Yeah.
So as far as the rulebook goes, it's
really
pretty
pretty.
short. It's got nice pictures in it. I did point out to you, like one issue I saw was when the first thing you read in the setup is telling you have different options on how to do movement, and but there doesn't explain what they are in that section, and there's not a reference to the section where it does explain it. So I'd add that. But as far as the rules go, it's pretty clear. I mean, it tells you how to play. I didn't read through it in detail because you did do the explanation
Yeah, we
of
had
it.
Paul Grogan do it. And he was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He-
I mean, and the thing is it's very eye-catching, very eye-pleasing.
Mhm.
Like, I was like, I could read this if I had to, but I'm so glad I don't. so
So-
important to me.
Yeah, I mean, apart from
We told him we wanted it as short as possible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't
Yeah,
want
no,
an
it's
hour.
definitely concise and it has all the information you need. It's got the index on the back or appendix on the back. And so I really do like the rulebook. I think I would give this one an 8.5. I think it's
It's a
that's
good
really
rulebook.
good one.
All right, so now we're going to talk about gameplay. So to basically, I think we already got a little summary, but to go in a little bit further, basically at the beginning of your turn, you're going to draw a card. You're going to see what that card does. You're going to either, if it's an item, you may hold it or you may use it automatically. However, if it's an event or a monster or something like that, you're going to have to trigger those immediately. And there's symbols on the card to determine whether you can hold it or it has to be instantaneous. And then after that, then you are going to go through decide to use any of your items that you already have, whether you want to use those or not. And then you finally do your movement phase. So you take one of your movement tiles and you place it on one of the 4 spaces that are available to you. As time goes, they get cluttered up. Once you use all 4, it gets removed and you start with a fresh board. So I like that mechanic in that you can't
always do 12 spaces.
you can't always do 12 spaces, but yet there's some strategic too. Do I use my 3 now or do I use my 12 now? Do I use my 9? So I really liked that piece of it. But then, so you take your movement and you're trying to go across and trying to go to the different elemental rooms. So there are 4 different elemental rooms that you're trying to make it to and go to the center to get the artifact that you then place on your board. The problem is there are a bunch of treasures in here and there are a bunch of gems that give you power, and those are just a distraction. But they also give you the abilities to move the rooms around.
Or jack with people.
Or you can trade places with people. The cards are really so dynamic. And I thought it was interesting that, there were a couple of the same, but there were so many different kinds of actions. It was
There's a
really
ton of
kind of great. It didn't get boring at all. It was like, oh, what's my new card going to be? Oh, what's this gonna do? And it was really fantastic. I actually really liked
It
that
would have
piece.
been nice though if Candle didn't keep drawing the thieving rings. That'd make that, he was very lucky in that regard.
Yeah, I know. But so once you collect all the different elemental, once you collect all those rune elements onto your player board, then you're trying to make it back out. And you'll find that once you get all 4, people are going to try to stop you from getting back out.
Maybe.
Yeah, because Robert had all 4 of his
Yeah,
first.
pretty early.
Yeah, but he just
Nobody
couldn't.
really stopped me. I got out.
That's because no one had it because they all used it on him.
Like Randy did.
I didn't expect him to move that warp room over there like that, and that's what got me. I didn't expect that. I didn't see that combination.
Yeah.
It was just like it worked perfect.
Yeah, so it was actually ended up being really cool. There's a lot of cool mechanics in this, and I had a lot of fun doing that. Even though there were definitely take that moments.
Absolutely, but they weren't. Some of them were. They're kind of brutal, but they didn't feel like, oh, I give up. There's
Yeah,
way.
no.
It's not a game-ending kind of.
Yeah.
Like how some stabby games
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
you don't have a
You
chance.
can die, but you can come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You resurrect.
Yeah, so basically, if you do die, if you lose all your health, all your gear and items are left on a particular space, and your job is to hurry back and go get that stuff before someone else does, because they can take all your stuff and you start over again. So the thing is I think we didn't play as brutal as you could play with this game, because I could see this game getting fairly brutal.
The more you play it, the more you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more mean
it
the more mean
definitely
you
has
get.
a
Yeah.
replayability.
But you don't. But like I said, the
After-
first time you play it, you're nice. First time you play it, you can be nice. The next time
Yeah.
you play it, you're just.
Yeah, and I think you can also gauge your kind of audience, and you could really kind of see, okay, I've got some new players, they don't maybe like that, take that.
Yeah.
Or if I have like a 9 and 11-year-old, how far that, you're not going to totally hammer
Fight
them, you know.
Unless you don't like them
Well,
that
we
day.
had,
you
what
know.
was that little girl? How old was she?
7.
We had a 7-year-old, and she, you know how a lot of them
They
are
can
nice
be
at
mean.
first, but the little girl, she was mean right off the
No,
bat.
me, but she was
She's
very
like
engaged.
Yeah, that sounds
Sarah
like
would be
Sarah.
like that.
Yeah, Sarah knows
Sarah
how to
totally
pick
does
on
We're
her.
not
Yeah.
inciting violence here.
Not doing it. But no,
That's why the pieces are light and harmless.
yeah.
Throw something, it's not going to hurt too bad.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad. So overall, I actually had a lot of
I
fun
did too.
playing this game. There's definitely a lot of fun factor. Normally, as a lot of people know, I'm not into that take that, but this was such kind of a lighthearted take that it was
Marriage
kind of
counseling
okay.
game.
Yeah, marriage counseling.
I heard you at one point say that you wanted to change characters. Was there a reason why you had a
Oh, I just
particular choice of?
No. I just did character color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Color. Okay.
Typically, I'm purple, then I'm green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have your favorite character color. Okay.
Yeah. I'm definitely team purple.
Well, there is a variety of options on that as well.
Yeah. So then that's the only reason why. It's just and
A lot of people, when they play this, are particular to the abilities that each character has.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
thought maybe that might be the fact.
But
yeah,
like I
so
said-
that is something that we did notice, is that each player does have an affinity with a particular element, and they get bonuses for having that affinity and that gemstone at the same time. So instead of being right next to a person to trigger a power, you just have to be in the same room as them, which can get very nasty. I will say I don't think the newcomers use the gemstones as much, and I think there was a little bit of lost, but I was okay with that because those things are brutal.
Well, someone had all of the gemstones
To
at
be
one
fair,
point.
yeah, practically all of them.
Although I would say the reason I won was because of using the gemstone at the
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
to kick Rob into
Good
a
point.
warp.
Slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been trying to go after
You
Red
want me
Murder
back?
this half this game.
Yeah, I think it's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play my bow. I'm gonna move that where the purple is.
Okay.
The purple where the blue is.
Am I still on blue?
Yep.
I
Who's
am
on second?
so
Who's on
mad
first?
right now. I don't even.
That goes where the green was.
I don't even want to talk about this right now.
Oh, you're getting a tour. And 6.
A tour I don't want to be in.
And I can then bump.
Well,
Which one?
You gotta be next to him.
I got because I don't have affinity, so I have to stop there. Is that him? Or is that one him?
Well, you can't just stop.
That's
Where were you at? Right here.
There.
And then
Wait,
1,
no,
2, 3, 4,
I
5,
was here.
6.
Yeah, 1, 2,
So you're right in
4,
front.
5, 6, right? I'm right
Yeah.
next to him.
Yeah.
So I can then bump him 10 spaces by choice.
Any direction. You can put him through a warp if you want.
Oh, I can't. Well, 4 kicking to 1. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Randy is a butt.
You just realized this. You're his best friend and you didn't notice that.
I didn't see that, but that's a good strategy.
You did.
Not a little bit.
Enough.
All right, I think we've covered everything. Let's give this a score, guys.
I'm first.
Yes.
So it feels to me this falls in the same category as Talisman. It's the same kind of game. If you like Talisman type games, this game would probably be a good choice for you. It's not nearly as long.
Oh, absolutely.
It's definitely not as long,
Near
but it has the same luck appeal of drawing a card, and that's going to totally change the shape of your game. So I don't particularly care for luck games. That's one of the things. I'm not a huge luck fan. I don't mind them from time to time. I've got all of Talisman, so obviously I play them from time to time. And this one doesn't take nearly as long to set up as Talisman. So if you want a quick, basically move type game, not roll and move, because you could actually pick the movement, which is a good choice, I think. Then this would be a good game for you. For me, it's not the right game, but we did have fun, and I won. So.
Whatever.
So I'll probably like a 6.5 on it.
Okay, what about you, Rob?
I do like this a little bit more than what Randy does, although I am not a fan of pure luck-based games, but there is strategy as well. So it's not just pure luck. Being able to, if you do have the right cards, knowing when to play those cards in the right way, like Randy did, like I tried to do if people didn't jack with me, they would have great or stealing my stuff. So there is some strategy, just not pure luck. So I'm an 8. I think it's a solid game.
I do too, actually. I'm right there with you with an 8. It was fun. It was dynamic. I think there's a little bit that you have to go in knowing it is a little bit of a take that game. But I had a lot of fun, and I was laughing, and we were,
we had a good time
It was a
overall.
really good time. And I think this allows some of those maybe not complete gamers to join in and still have a lot of fun.
I think so too.
And I think that's really what they were aiming for, is to include
We wanted that
maybe
interaction.
some of that younger generation. If you have some teenagers, I can see them having a blast. I could definitely see this getting the teenage boys into this, and they would be going all out. So I think there's a lot of things, and so I'm with you on this 8. I think it's good, and I think it was fun, and we laughed a lot. And I can't wait to play this again to pick on Randy. Like, I feel like that's good.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to lose again,
Yeah, I'd like to see you guys
Go at it real
a few
strong.
times.
But
No hold cards.
So, well, guys, we had an absolute blast today, and we hope to see you guys again. But we will share the link once the crowdfunding gets started, and then we can post that so you can look in the comments if when and if that's up. So we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.